Hey guys, I hope y'all are having a great day today. So we're going to be doing a shop my stash video, and of course I'm going to show y'all everything that I used to come up with my makeup for today. I'm going to try to start doing shop my stash videos at least once a month, and hopefully earlier in the month than this. It's just that I've been doing a lot of product reviews lately, so this video just kept getting pushed back. But I'm not all that crazy about my finished look for today, but I hope that y'all like it. But I do still want to take y'all through the process of how I came up with the look for today, and of course show y'all the products that I use. So we're going to be focusing on the eyeshadow palette and the foundation, and you can probably tell what the palette is based on the thumbnail, but I'll tell you what the foundation is in just a second. And then everything else that I used today were things that I pulled out that I haven't touched in a while. So yeah, I think that's it. So let's jump right into it. So Essence has been coming out with a bunch of these 6-pan palettes. This is what the outside packaging looks like for one of them. I kept trying to get my hands on a coral themed palette, and every time I would go to get it, it was always out of stock at Ulta, but they have a bunch of different color schemes. This one I think is relatively new because I think it came out for wintertime. So I decided to grab this one because I do like these types of colors for eyeshadow. So we're going to be playing around with this one today. Now I will say this one does not look as appealing in person to me as it did online, especially this color here, this gray shade. I don't even know if I'm going to bother trying it out. I'm not sure yet, but I think that gray shade is going to look really like ashy and dull on me, but I think I'll be able to use the rest of these. So we're going to play around with this one for today. So first I'm going to start with my e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer. My brows are already done, so I used my Wet n Wild Brow Powder Duo. I've been tapping into this here and there for a very long time, but that's usually what I use when I'm doing like a drugstore video. So for this e.l.f. primer, I like to apply this with my finger just to kind of make it a bit more pliable. Okay, so looking at these two like deeper silver shades here, I do kind of wish I had something that was in between these two shades but not quite as light as this, because I'm thinking this lighter one, I'll use that for an inner corner highlight. I guess between these other two, I really can't tell. Let me do a couple of finger swatches to see. Yeah, they are kind of similar. So those are the two swatches of the silver shades. On camera, they actually look a lot different from one another than they do in person, but I guess I'm gonna go with this one here for my like the main lid color. So I'm just gonna start. Ooh, that's like really really pigmented. Oh wow, really pigmented, and I'm patting it on as you can see, but this is blending out really nicely. And then usually after I put on a shade using a brush, I like to go over it with my finger just to enhance it a little bit. So far so good with this palette. If I really like how all of the shades that I use, if I like how they perform, then I probably will go back and get a couple more, because they come in like, I want to say like 10 different color schemes. Okay, so I definitely liked that silvery shade, so I'm gonna go in with this deeper blue matte color. I'm gonna put that on the outer part of the lid and also on the lower lash line. I might do a finger swatch of that gray shade that I don't think I can use. This is really pretty. Ooh, I like this color. Ooh, I really like that. What was I saying before I got sidetracked with this blue shade? Oh, I was saying I think I will do maybe a finger swatch of that gray shade that I don't think I can do anything with, just so I can show y'all what it looks like. But this blue shade here is so pretty. Okay, so before I blend that out, because I know it looks crazy, I'm going to go into the lighter blue shade and I'm going to buff around the deeper blue shade. So I'm just picking up a smaller blending brush. So this one I feel like is not, like the color of it, I'm not as in love with it as I am that deeper blue shade, but I am, you know, swiping this one back and forth instead of patting it on like I did the deeper blue shade. But what I do like about these two blues up against each other is that I can tell the difference between the two, because sometimes I'll use like two colors that are kind of similar to one another and they end up just blending into one another like too much. But like with these two colors, I feel like I can tell the difference. I have a feeling if I had used this color as a lid color that I would really like it too. It's just not quite as potent, I guess, because of how I'm applying it. Because like I said, I'm blending it instead of like patting it on my lid. Okay, so I have another blending brush here, and first thing I'm going to do is kind of like blend the deep blue shade in with the lighter blue shade. So I'm just trying to make sure that they're blending into one another, and I may have to go back and like reapply some of the dark blue shade. And then I'm going to blend right in between the silver and the deep blue shade. So the more I'm looking at the lighter blue shade, I feel like the more I'm not liking it, like it's looking like more patchy. So I am gonna go over that one more time too. So I'm just gonna go back over this color one more time. I just want to deepen it up a little bit. So yeah, just adding another coat of this color makes it look a lot better. But also when you add another coat, it does blend in a little bit more with the deeper blue shade. So I feel like now those two colors are looking like one, but it still looks better like this because the lighter blue shade doesn't look as patchy. But I do like this enough to where I can tell I want to try like a few more of these palettes. I'm gonna do a finger swatch of this shade here. Yeah, this one is just gonna be like straight ash on me. I'm not gonna bother messing with this one on the eyes. I just don't think that's gonna work out. So we will skip that. I'm just gonna clean up on the edges a little bit. I am gonna go back into the deep blue matte shade, and I'm just gonna try to add a little bit more right on the very outer edge of the look, just to deepen it out a little bit more. And then I'm just taking a little bit of the silver shade and I'm just patting it right where the two colors meet, just to further like blend them in to one another. So I might have to go back again and kind of like clean all of that up. But for right now, let's move on to the face. But so far I like this. Like I said, I had to put on 2 layers of this to make it not look patchy, but I do like this enough to where I want to try some more of these little palettes. Sorry, I spoke too soon. Before we move on to the face, I'm going to do my eyeliner and mascara. So I'm using the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. And I actually used this not too long ago because I don't really have like a whole lot of eyeliners that I like to use. I only have like maybe 3 that I rotate through. Now for mascara, I'm going to be trying something new. This is the Maybelline The Colossal Curl Bounce Mascara. And I was actually going to do a dedicated review when this came out, but I never got around to it. This has memory curl formula in it. So it's supposed to keep your lashes nice and curly for hours. It's supposed to be up to a 24-hour wear. And it's supposed to be clump free, smudge free, and flake free. So let's give this a try. This one comes in the shades Very Black and Blackest Black. This one is Very Black. So this is what the wand looks like. It looks promising. I like the shape of it actually. So let's give this a try. A lot of times when you try mascara for the very first time, that very first layer is kind of like deceiving because it's kind of like the layer where you have to kind of get through to really see like what the mascara can do, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't be surprised if like this first layer doesn't really look like too much of anything. I mean, I can definitely tell that I'm putting mascara on, but before I give you guys my thoughts, let me put on another coat. I think this gives me some volume, but it's not wowing me at all. Like I can tell I have mascara on. I don't like the formula of it. Like it's not, I don't know, you want your mascara to be like not super wet, but this one seems like it needs just a little bit more wetness, a little more moisture to it or something. Like it's kind of hard to apply because I feel like there's not a whole lot like coating my lashes. It doesn't look horrible, but I don't know, nothing wowing me about this. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's really nothing in here, or maybe I guess it's just too dry. I guess that's what it is. It's not flaking, so when I say that this is dry, it's not flaking. Like it actually looks okay on the lashes, but I'm finding it kind of hard to apply because it's just not wet enough. I hope that makes sense, but I mean this, I probably won't be using this again, so. Okay, so with that being said, now let's move on to the face. So I'm going to be using, this is a relatively new product. This is the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. So this came out like a couple months ago, and I just kind of felt like by the time I got my hands on it, I kind of missed that window of opportunity to do like a dedicated review and wear test on this. So I said I'll use it in a Shop My Stash video. So this one is the shade 7-8 Tan Deep. I wear the shade C6 in the True Match foundation. So I just assumed I was shade, it's either 5-6 or 6-7. And that one looked really light and very yellow. So I decided to go with 7-8 instead. So this is supposed to be a tinted serum. It's supposed to be like very sheer coverage. So before we put it on the face, let me show you guys a quick little hand swatch. Yeah, and I think I picked a really good shade, and I can tell this is going to be a really sheer coverage too. So I think because this is so liquidy, I'm just going to take a chance and apply it directly to the face. Yeah, you see how it's dripping down really fast. And I'm going to apply this with my Merit foundation brush. Okay, so before I apply it on the rest of the face, so far it looks really nice. It just evened out my skin tone a little bit. It just evened out the skin tone a little bit, and I think it gave me like a slight glow, a slight radiance to the face, and I do like the way that it blends out, but it's definitely not giving me a whole lot of coverage, and I do think it looks dull. I thought that this undertone was going to be a bit too neutral for me. I have a lot of eyeshadow fallout. Let me see if I can clean this up. Okay, I kind of don't know exactly where I left off with my train of thought, but I think I was saying that this is not really giving a whole lot of coverage at all, which it claims to be like sheer coverage. So far I think it's doing exactly what it claims to do. I'm not going to be doing a wear test on this, so if I feel like there's something of note to update y'all on, I will update you in a pinned comment. But first impression wise, I think it looks pretty nice. It's just dull. That's what I was saying. I think that the undertone is a bit dull, but I'm going to see if I can kind of offset that a little bit later on. So let me put some on the other side, and then I'll go back and build it up. It's really nice though. Like if you don't have a whole lot to cover up, you might really like this if you just want something really light on the face instead of wearing like an actual foundation. And I like how it sets down, so it looks like a really nice natural finish, and I think I still have a little bit of radiance, a little bit of glow, but it's not like super dewy, which is what I was expecting, because let me know what y'all think, but in the bottle it looks like it's going to be really shiny, so I'm trying to show y'all without having it reflect the light, but just it looks like it's going to be kind of like really glowy in the bottle, but it really doesn't set down like that on the face. So I'm gonna go in with, ooh, yeah, see this is already getting kind of messy, but I'm gonna go in with a little bit more. It builds up like just a little bit. I wasn't expecting it to build up at all actually, but it does build up a little bit. I got a little more coverage over here with the second layer. I'm gonna look, next time I go to a store, I'm gonna look at the shade lighter than this one in person one more time, just to see if that might be worth trying out, because I actually really like this. I like how it sets down on my face. This shade though is just a little too dark for me, and like I said, the other shade that I thought that I would have been in the bottle, it looked like it was gonna be too yellow, but I'm gonna have to take another look at that. But so far so good. If you haven't already tried this, first impression, I feel like it's worth trying. It looks really nice. Okay, so I don't really have a whole lot of options when it comes to concealers from the drugstore, but one of my favorites is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is really nice. It's really hydrating. It's really creamy, and I think it gives good coverage. The only thing is I always have to mix two shades together. So I'm going to be mixing the shades Tan Walnut and Deep Caramel. They both have supposedly cool undertones. And I think that they have cool undertones. It's just that in general, I feel like e.l.f. just doesn't really know how to do cool undertones for my complexion range. So they don't like totally get it right, but you know, I can use these two shades. I just have to mix them together. So I normally just do like a 50-50. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep my makeup on for today because like I said, I'm not doing a wear test on that L'Oreal serum, but maybe I will try to keep my makeup on for a long time just to see how this wears because I really like it. I can't stop looking at it in the mirror. I just wish it was just a little tiny bit lighter, but I think it looks really, really nice. Okay, so this is what the complexion is looking like. Let me know what y'all think about the L'Oreal foundation because I think it looks really nice. So for both my under eye and for the rest of my face, I'm gonna set with my Airspun, my Coty Airspun loose powder. That powder just went all up in my nose. Whew, in my throat, good Lord. Okay. I have a ton of loose powders that are just sitting around not being used, and I think that I need to remember to use them up here and there because they're just sitting there. But I'm gonna first apply this to the under eye area to set my concealer, and then I'm just switching to a bigger brush. Let me use this brush here. I'm just switching to a bigger brush just to pick up more product, and then I'm also going to set the rest of my face. Okay, for blush, I'm gonna start off with my Milani Baked Blush. This one is the shade Luminoso. The last time that I used this, I thought that it was like a bit too dewy, too glowy on my skin, but I pulled it out for today just because I haven't used it in a while. Yeah, and I think I am gonna go on top of this with something else because I can see the glow, but I feel like I can't see the blush at all. I don't remember having that issue the last time I used this, but yeah, I'm gonna go on top of it with something else. So although I already set my face, I'm gonna go on top of that with my e.l.f. Putty Blush. I wanna say this is the shade Fiji, but I'm not sure about that. But I'm gonna see if I can pick some up with that same brush that I was using for the other blush. Yeah, I think that looks better because I can at least see some blush on my cheeks now. I actually don't like my blush today because of that Luminoso blush underneath it. I think that that's throwing everything off. But maybe I'll feel differently when we get everything all together. So I feel like my blush and my eyeshadow, you know how I like for mine to offset. I'm pretty sure I've said that to y'all before that I usually use peachy or like warmer blushes because I typically have cooler tones on my eyes. So I feel like these offset, but I just feel like it's too much color on my face right now. But let's move on. Let's finish everything up and we'll see what we look like. So I'm going to be using my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer today. This used to be one of my favorite bronzers ever, and I just moved on to other things, but this one is in the shade Endless Summer, and on me it comes off as a rather subtle bronzer, but definitely not as subtle as the Huda Beauty, the Glowish bronzer. I'm gonna take a little bit of this and go right over my blush and see if I can like deepen it out a little bit. I don't know. I feel like now, no matter what I do, I'm just not gonna like, I'm not gonna like my cheeks for today. But I'm just taking a little bit more of this on the nose, and then I'm just gonna tone it back down. So I definitely want to do a nude lip to go with the eyes for today. So I'm starting off with my NYX lip pencil in brown. And then I'm going in with my e.l.f. I think these are called the e.l.f. matte lip pencils, but the name of it is not on here, but I'm pretty sure they're called the e.l.f. matte lip pencils. This one is in the shade Praline. Okay, and while I'm still deciding if I want to use a lip gloss or not, I'm going to go back into my small eyeshadow blending brush, and I'm just going to very lightly blend on the edges of my eyeshadow just to kind of soften the edges just a smidge. And I'm going to tap back into this palette and I'm going to pick up a little bit. I think I'm going to mix these two shades together. These two silver shades in the middle. I'll use those as an inner corner highlight. I just feel like my face is still looking kind of dull. Like maybe it's around my mouth. Something is like a little off to me today. I'm gonna try this NYX No Filter finishing powder. This one is in the shade Classic Tan. It has like a very like soft, slight, like barely noticeable sheen to it. But I'm gonna start with putting some of this around the mouth. Did that make a difference at all? I'm just gonna put this powder just kind of like everywhere. I think that looks a little bit better, but I'm guessing it's the Loreal Serum. Something is just a little bit off to me. Like this looks better, but I don't know, it's just a little off. Okay, so here is the finished look for today. So let me know what y'all think. Am I overreacting? Does the makeup look off or does it look okay? It's just looking like it's just not giving what I wanted it to give for today, you know, but it looks okay. But maybe I'm just like, maybe I'm being extra today. I don't know. So let me know what y'all think about my overall look for today. And I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel before you head out, and I will see y'all back here for my next one. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.